Hi guys, so this is the Glacial Cascade Elementalist. I just thought I'd show you guys this build. Even though I'm not all the way that far in, I'm only level 73 right now. But let's take a look at my gear. So this build is using the Tollfall wand. Thus far, I don't really have an opinion about this wand. It's decent as far as damage goes, but it's, it's nothing too special. I thought it would be a lot better than it currently is. This thing, though, the Pandermonius, I think it's called, is fantastic. It is amazing for defense, and it is great for damage. And what I mean by amazing for defense is it basically every mob that attacks you is blinded, and that means that they have a 50% chance to miss you, which is pretty fucking insane. And we're taking advantage of this by, first of all, our attack. Glacial Cascade is mostly cold, which means it chills everything. So all we have to do is hit something that's chilled and it will blind them. Then also we are using Orb of Storms. So Orb of Storms, we're using it with Warlord's Mark, but Orb of Storms can also proc some of the cold damage that we have from our Herald of Ice. So as you can see here, it's only 33 to 51 cold, but it's enough to proc a monster if it's already chilled. And the other way we chill things is with Vortex. Now, we're using this on a cast when damage taken support. So when we take enough damage, if mobs run into us in melee range, or if they hit us from range, we put out this rather large vortex, and it freezes them, and it almost instantly blinds anything that's inside of it, which is pretty cool. So we have a 5-link here. We're using Hypothermia, which is great because everything's chilled. Spell Echo, Concentrated Effect, and Controlled Destruction. The rest of our gear is pretty lackluster. It's nothing special, just decent boots, decent gloves, decent helmet, just starter gear really. Really crappy rings, not that great of a belt. Let's take a look at the passive tree. So this is my current passive tree. First let's look at the ascendancies. So the plan is actually to get Mastermind of Discord, and the reason I want to get this is because I can proc the cold resistance penetration using Flame Dash. So if I use Flame Dash every 10 seconds at least, then we're taking off 25% cold resistance from whatever we're attacking. Add that with the 20% that gets taken off with Frost Bomb, and the rest that we get from the passive tree from Celestial Judgment, which is another 2%. And we're taking off quite a lot of resistances. So that's pretty strong. We're using Pendulum of Discord. We benefit from the area increase as well as the elemental damage increase. It's substantial. Paragon of Calamity, of course, is amazing. Reduced reflect as well as increased damage based on what we've been hit with. We're also using Shaper of Desolation. Now the reason I didn't go for Beacon of Ruin is because there really is no reason to get it. And Liege of the Primordial is pretty lackluster for a cold build because you wouldn't really want to run a cold golem, or ice golem rather. Ice golem is mainly for attacks. We're a spellcaster, so okay. So this is our passive tree. Currently, I'm going up here to get a jewel socket. I want to socket a green nightmare into this because what we can do is we can get the Frostwalker. I believe it's a large radius, right? So we can get Frostwalker here, and I believe, yeah, it also counts these elemental damage nodes, and I believe it can reach up to Breath of Rhyme. The real great place to get this jewel though would be right here, because we can get Faith and Steel and Elementalist and we get all of these nodes as well, and they all count towards it, which means that we get like a huge increase to our spell dodge and to a chance to get frenzy charges. And we also of course get the chaos damage added as it's 5% chaos damage added as onto our spells. So that's pretty cool. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. We just came up through here. I got the health. Then I came up here. I got the health up here. Came down. Got elemental overload. Came down here. Came through Templar. Got the area and the health. Came all the way down. Got the Scion wheel. Came over. Got celestial punishment. And then lastly came back through shadow and got the rest of the stuff in here. Eventually I want to pick up this jewel, this jewel, this jewel. Of course this jewel and this jewel. And if possible I want to put 2 green nightmares into here and here. And the rest of them are just going to be rare jewels. After that I'll probably just path up through here, get Heart of Ice and Breath of Rhine. Honestly, we have a lot of life. If I had better gear, I'd probably have about 5.5k life. I'm not sure about this wheel. It might be a waste, honestly, because the energy shield is not that great. So we may end up pathing back up through here and getting Written in Blood instead, because it's a lot better. Anyway, okay, so let's run a quick map. So I've got a sewer map here. It's just a tier 3. That's all I've really got right now. I just got into maps with this character. Unfortunately, with this league, I got started really late. So we'll run this sewer map real quickly. Just note as we are fighting everything, how it all gets blinded, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I don't know why people don't use Glacial Cascade more. It's a pretty strong skill. The other thing that we can use to proc Mastermind of Discord is we can use Molten Shell if we want to. Something to consider later. If I have enough links, of course. Let's get this Orb of Chance. As you can see, I'm basically mowing through this map. I mean, it's not very dangerous. Obviously, this is not a very dangerous map to begin with, but even at this level, it's not very dangerous. My damage is decent. It's 9k currently. When I get full frenzy charges, it goes up to 15. And then when I pop my Atziri flask, it can go up to 17. The 17k isn't bad. If I had a 6 link, I think I'd probably be able to push it up 40 with max level jewels, which is pretty nice. Another cool thing about Glacial Cascade, the reason I didn't use Freeze Pulse for this build is because I'm able to shoot through walls, basically shoot around corners, shoot through things. It doesn't get stopped by doorways like Freeze Pulse does, which is nice. Also, you benefit from the area. You could, in theory, you could use lightning skills with this build as well. Ball Lightning I was considering, and Storm Call. But personally, I just really stuck with Glacial Cascade. I was leveling with it and I really liked it. And when I got this amulet, things kind of just really worked out quite well. You can see almost on every mob that's even near me is like gets blinded almost 100% of the time. Every mob that I hit, period, or that gets into my vortex gets blinded, which is pretty damn strong. Now, of course, the guardians and stuff, some of them I think are immune to chill, which will probably pose a problem. I don't know, we'll have to see. Here's the boss. So he's actually blind. You notice he did nothing to me. And that's pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about freezing mobs, which is harder to do with something like Glacial Cascade because it's half physical. Rather, all we have to worry about is chilling things. And if we consistently chill things, then that means that we have high defense. It's like if we could somehow apply evasion, or rather mischance, to mobs through a curse of sorts, that would be the same effect, except this is really, really strong because it's 50%. And as you can see, I'm on this curve, and like Glacial Cascade still goes around it. That's why it's such a strong skill, in my opinion. It's a little slow using spell echo, so I'm considering trying to find an alternative, or maybe increasing my cast speed significantly to make things a little bit easier. But we'll see. If it's not a huge damage loss, I will think about using something like Added Chaos. Or faster casting. The one thing I just don't like is being locked in place with the spell echo. Unlike something like Flame Blast or, you know, some of the other really strong spells. It's just not that big of a deal when you're locked in place. Glacial Cascade can be a little bit slow because you are locked in place, but it still just wrecks everything. And of course, we don't have to worry about either physical or elemental reflect. I'll do Vegan later. Alright, well that's the end of the map. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll have a few more out when I get higher level. Anyway.